looking at? I thought this was not the west side. David, are you familiar with that? Is it the west side of town?
I think it's just the west side.
It's on the Highway 92 on the west side of town? Okay. Anyone that's involved or would like to know any more about what the SRPTA is doing, as Central Iowa Regional Transportation Alliance, and their west side of town traffic studies, I believe, and traffic.
Mayor Richardson, if I may, it's the 20-year vision for the region's transportation
Okay,
system.
that's what it is. Okay. My mistake. But that would include like our turning lanes on Highway 65. It would include 65, 69 in town. It would include the west side of town. It would also include things on the east side of town on Highway 92 as well, and north and south. Okay, thank you. Again, library, 10:15 to noon on December 4th. Mayor's Youth Council will be doing holiday shopping Sunday, the 7th. Yep. For folks that are in need, and the council strategic planning session is on the 12th of December. And that's all I have for that. Okay, we're under public consideration, new business. We have a resolution approving a lease agreement for parking between the City of Indianola and New Heights Church of Indianola and the Trinity United Presbyterian Church of Indianola. Do we have a motion to approve and then have discussion, or you want to have discussion first? It's up to you folks.
Discussion first.
Okay, Jake, you want to start us off?
Well, actually, Jeff, Jackie, take this one.
The city of Indianola has entered into a lease agreement since the late 1970s with the churches who own parking lots at the corner of First Street and First Avenue. It's commonly referred to locally, I think, as the movie theater parking lot. There's about 80 spots there for public use. The lease agreement states that the city is responsible for the maintenance of the present parking lot upon said premises in accordance with the policy of the city of Indianola on maintaining parking lots and alleys adopted by the city council on August 1st, 1977. Maintenance shall include snow removal, dust and litter control, painting of parking lines, and 2 barricades. The 1977 policy that's referred in the agreement states that the city policy on maintaining parking lots is that the city-owned or properly leased parking lots shall be surfaced and maintained as needed under the supervision of the city manager. We've had internal discussions and also reached out to Main Street to ask them about the need to continue this lease agreement. It was previous staff's assumption that we would not continue this lease agreement once we finish the square and all of the parking lots around there, and with the purchase of the parking lots across the street, that is an additional 80 stalls. But we really want to do a more thorough evaluation to see if those spots are needed, because they may be or may not be, we're just not sure. So we would recommend extending the lease for another year to provide time to evaluate the need for those parking spaces. And as I mentioned earlier, we're responsible for maintaining and surfacing the lots that are properly leased. Snyder and Associates did a cost estimate for us on that parking lot. Resurfacing would be $76,000. Resurfacing with patching would be $130,000, and reconstruction would be $210,000. After about 7 years, we would need to do some crack sealing or a seal coat, and then more substantial maintenance around the 14-year mark. And we had our city attorney review and update the lease agreement. Just add some more liability coverage in there is the only thing that changed for this time. But if there's any questions about entering a current lease for 1 year, we'd be happy to answer those.
The maintenance portion for resurfacing and stuff like that, we're not expecting to have to do that in this next year, correct?
I don't know when, not in FY26, I don't think.
No, we would possibly have to look at it for FY27. I know just through conversations that we have seen, there's a lot of alligator cracking in those lots. It doesn't appear that there's been much maintenance completed over the years. And just because the city has been in agreements with the churches for so long, we do believe there would be an obligation from the city to repair those lots, even if the lease were to terminate essentially at this point. So it's a long-winded way to say that it's a long-standing liability that hasn't been addressed, and frankly, we can only kick the can so far before there is some sort of intervention and improvement that's needed.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna hit this next budget.
Not this current one, but there will be
yeah,
discussions for
the
FY27.
following one, yes, yeah.
Is that possible to use road use tax on this one?
Road use tax, yes. Lost funds, no.
Right, but road use tax.
That's all right. It's 100% something that I cannot answer off the top of my head.
To my understanding, road use tax would be eligible.
Any further questions?
Thank you, Ron. I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Ron.
So have we exhausted our road use fund tax though with Hillcrest, or do we have a surplus?
The Hillcrest was a bond.
There wasn't any road use?
No.
Okay.
Can you maybe, Jackie or Jake, have staff just check and see what the balance is on that so we can kind of get an idea or roughly what that is in the future?
So there's a potential FY '27, so, as we start doing that in a month, that we may have that as a project. Regardless, if we terminate now or in a year or 2 years, is my understanding.
Correct,
Is that we're
yeah.
gonna we'll have to address it in some way, shape, or form, so.
Yeah, that was a question we clarified with legal at Brick Gentry, Allison's partner Aaron, just to verify that because of the longstanding history of the city utilizing the lot, even if we were to terminate now, there would be a strong argument for them to make that the use over the last 50-ish years at this point certainly would have had an impact on the integrity of the parking lot.
And I'm okay doing an evaluation to see if we continue to need those, the 80 stalls after, the square's been done and everything. There still could be a need for those. So, I like the approach of not rushing into canceling something just for the sake of it. So I would make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I can tell you when we hold events that we utilize every parking lot. There's True Value, Simpson. It's every parking lot available. And that's not on a daily basis, but True Value's lot gets utilized pretty much every day as a public lot as well. By nearby businesses and the public. So that's another one that's also used. So I that'll factor in as you do your analysis.
Ron, do you have any comments?
That lot I think is still heavily used, and I've been using that lot for 30 years, going to the movie theater, and so do most citizens. I agree with Melissa that on days where we have events, all the public lots are completely full, and that includes private lots behind the square as well, because I know people park in my wife's parking lot and anywhere they can find a spot to park. So definitely something that we need to take into consideration.
So I take it then staff's gonna work with the business community to figure out the needs and also take a look at the budget and see what we need to do there for long-term maintenance. Okay. Any other questions? If not, we'll call the roll here. Okay. Okay. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Beach,
Aye.
Sones,
Aye.
Lane.
Aye.
Dalby,
Aye.
Armstrong.
Motion carries 5-0, right? Okay. City manager's report.
Yeah. Well, we had our first snow event of the season, and I just want to take a moment to thank our staff for their tremendous work. I know they put in some long days and long hours, and just appreciate everything that they did to make sure that our roads were cleared and traversable. So thank you to all of our folks who were out there in it. I also want to take an opportunity to thank the public for their patience. We know that the first snow especially is challenging. We're all relearning the proper way to drive in these conditions, so appreciate everyone for their patience and giving folks some grace on the roadways. We did write a total of 21 citations that were violations of the parking ban. We did total 3 cars as well. So I would encourage everyone to continue to monitor the city's website, social media for information on those parking bans when they go into effect, as well as opt into alerts to make sure they stay informed For more information, they can visit indianolaiowa.gov/winter. They'll be able to get more information on our snow ordinance as well as opt into those text alerts so they make sure they're well informed.
Quick question on that. So I noticed a lot of people were concerned with the ones, basically the ones that live on the square, that have apartments and things above all the businesses. Was something able to be worked out for them? Cause I know like in one of the posts it said something about they couldn't park in the parking lots, but that's kind of where they've always parked during a snowstorm, so.
Correct, yep, that was a little bit of a miscommunication on our end about the parking lots. That was remedied relatively quickly. I think it was remedied in fact before any snow in fact fell. So that was just a little snafu on our end, just as folks relearn the driving on the conditions, we needed to tighten up some of our processes on communication. So the folks on the square are able to park in the parking lots. And most of that was communicated, as I mentioned, before any snow actually fell.
Yeah, that post was actually updated, I believe, between 8 and 8:30 in the morning.
Was it? I don't know. I just noticed that there was a post and I'm not on Facebook a whole lot, so.
I worked with Rob and Clerical and they got it updated.
Awesome.
I'm excited to announce that Eric Stevens will be starting tomorrow as Indianola's new Public Works Director. Eric will bring over 28 years of experience in the public works field. Most recently, he served as the managing principal engineer of his own engineering consulting firm. His background also includes work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as well as in the private sector. Eric holds a master's degree in civil and environmental engineering as well as a law degree. He is a licensed professional engineer and he holds a project management professional certification. I'll have Eric back at the December 15th meeting for a more formal introduction to mayor and city council as well as members of the public. Along the same vein, I'm really excited to announce that we have our finalists selected for police chief interviews, which will occur later this week. We partnered with MGT Executive Recruitment to assist in our search. We had a candidate of about 17 very highly qualified individuals. We conducted first round interviews with 8 of those folks. We were able to narrow those 8 down into 3 finalists. The 3 finalists in alphabetical order are Mike Kobe, our own Rob Hawkins, as well as Edward Tajaden. Mike Kobe has 24 years of experience and currently serves as the police chief for Clear Lake, Iowa. Mike began his career in 2001 with the Clive Police Department until moving to Clear Lake in 2016, where he started as captain. He became the police chief in Clear Lake back in 2023. Mike has an associate's degree in criminal justice, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice leadership, and a master's degree in leadership development. Rob Hawkins has 28 years of experience and currently serves as the captain of the Indianola Police Department, as well as our interim police chief. Rob started his career with the Pella Police Department in 1997 before joining the Indianola Police Department in the year 2000. Over the years, he has served in various roles, including police officer, drug task force officer, general crimes detective, sergeant, patrol lieutenant, captain, and interim chief. Rob has an associate's degree in personnel administration, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and a master's degree in criminal justice / public administration. Edward Tajaden has 26 years of experience and currently serves as the police chief of York, Nebraska, and he's held that role since 2017. Edward previously served as an officer, investigator, and sergeant for Gearing, Nebraska, and then a lieutenant and operations commander for Alliance, Nebraska. Edward has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a master's degree in organizational management, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in public administration. So we look forward to having all 3 of the candidates in town later this week. They'll go through an intensive interview process between Thursday and Friday, and we'll look to hopefully announce our next police chief yet in the month of December. Last item I have is there is a blood drive that will be done in partnership and held at the IWC. It'll be held on December 5th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. There is a link available on the city's website to check your eligibility as well as make an appointment to donate. So I'd encourage any folks interested to go ahead and do that as well.
Thank you. Next item of discussion, action regarding future agenda items. If there's anything you want to bring forth, now would be the time to do that. I do have something here when everybody gets finished, but.
I would like to have a discussion regarding the Trail Ridge Quick Start and Indianola Vet Clinic entrance, and specifically the maintenance. Given that winter is here and we don't know who's responsible for plowing it, or we have not yet received a response from the developer on
It's
that.
a privately responsible street at this point.
Correct, but we don't know if the developer is going to maintain that. Is that correct?
Legally, they're obligated to if it's privately owned, correct?
There's an obligation there. Yeah, we have a letter draft that will reaffirm their responsibility and are also partnering with legal to explore other measures for enforcement.
Right, but in the meantime, what's happening if they are not?
We have city code that actually prohibits us from maintaining private infrastructure. The property owners, adjacent property owners, likely could partner to hire a private contractor to maintain it, would likely be an option for them to pursue. The city, we're not allowed to maintain it per our city ordinances. And the developer is responsible at this time and will continue to follow up with them to ensure that they are aware of their responsibility.
So my question would be, have we had conversations with those two businesses to make sure they're aware of that?
No, because it is the developer's responsibility who we continue to follow up with.
We have a new business to town who has a very busy, it's a very busy business, and the vet clinic is also busy, and if that entrance is not being plowed, I guess it's a bad look for the city. They don't know all of this back history and whose obligation it is. And so my concern is if we want Quick Star to build a second location here, I think it would be good on us to reach out and just say, hey, we're working on this situation.
I agree. I don't know that necessarily needs to be a conversation at the city council level, but that's something we can certainly do to make them aware. But at the same point, I want to be respectful to the developer and not necessarily point fingers at them either. So it's a matter that is certainly being addressed and we're working through, but it takes a level of collaboration to achieve a successful outcome.
We can't accept the liability with that. That's not our job. It's against our ordinances and it's against our.
I'm not asking us to accept
Understand that.
responsibility, I'm just asking us to make sure that those businesses are aware, that we're aware that things may not be getting done.
I mean, I'm sure like if we're gonna send a letter to the developer, can we not include like a section in there that states if you do not make your, the tenants or however you wanna word it, aware within so many days so that they know that we are not responsible, that we will notify them instead?
Go ahead.
I mean, I think you can add that to the letter. I mean, similar to the previous letters we've sent, whether the developer responds, we can't really control. Certainly if the property owner were claims the city, then we can inform them of that, that not a public road, talk to your developer. But whether or not we can force the developer to inform the property owners is probably beyond our capacity. We can highly recommend that they do that, but yeah.
So, I mean, Melissa, if they reached out to you, you could inform them of that.
Certainly the position of the city is a public record that is not a public road. And so that is privately owned and would be on the developer.
Kind of similar to that neighborhood in my ward over by Casey's.
All the cases, yeah.
And we've already sent a letter to the developer, clearly articulating that it is their responsibility. We're sending a follow-up and essentially a final letter letting them know that it is their responsibility, and we'll seek any remedies that are available to us working with our legal counsel. But it is an unfortunate situation for the two businesses who are relying on that road.
Anything else from anyone? Okay, I'd like to ask the question of the council. Past years, it hasn't been for a number of years again here, but in past years, after the last meeting before Christmas, we would post that there would be a public gathering at some location in Indianola for staff, council, public, anybody that wanted to show up to have some time to just spend kind of a jolly time for Christmas and the holidays. Also because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but because it's Christina's last council meeting as well, we'd like to be able to have at least a toast or something to Christina with a cup of coffee, soda, or whatever floats your boat. So would council be okay if we do something like that after the meeting at your own cost, of course, but do something after the meeting on the 15th?
Yeah.
Sure. We on with that? Ron, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay? Staff okay? We can figure it out? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Any other business before the council? It's on this discussion and action item on future agenda items. If not, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion to adjourn, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
None? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Here.